Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Belinda and I am the owner of Wooden Roots Decor. Today I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself while I work on one of my new Halloween projects that I'm really excited to show you. I love making all the things from every season to custom signs to, well, lately I've started redoing some furniture. I never know where my day is going to take me, and that's why I love everything I do in my little small business. Okay, so I have 8 sets that I'm going to paint today, and I just wanted to show you how I go about doing that. So this I'm going to paint orange and a kitty cat gray. I really enjoy using the DecoArt paint colors. They just have a really nice coverage and they're just my favorite. So here we go. So I like to use also a piece of tin foil, just fold it over, and then you have a bunch of sides that you can use until it's not usable anymore. So I'll take my orange paint, and I like to use sponges. I used to paint my pieces with brushes, but wow, since I discovered sponges, so much better. You don't want a lot of paint on it, but you want enough to be able to get it onto your project. A little backstory is I have always loved to create. Even since I was a child, I used to spend a lot of time with my grandparents as a child. And my grandfather, he was always out in his little shed building things or fixing things, and I loved being his little sidekick. I was always out there with him, and it made me the happiest to be out there. He was always teaching me, showing me things, how to do things with a hammer and nails and building little bird houses and whatever we wanted to build that day. His little shop was full of little cans of trinkets and treasures. You never know what you were gonna find from one can to another, and that's what I loved about it. I was always looking through the cans, seeing what I could find to create with. Now that I have all 8 of those base coated, they're just off to the side drying. I also wanted to mention about wiping the char, or sanding the char off. You can also take a baby wipe or any kind of wipe. I found these recently at Costco. They're the Kirkland brand facial towels. They seem to do a much better job. Preferably, my favorite method is still the sanding technique, but these do work as well. You can see he has a little bit of charring around his eyes and nose there. I'm just gonna take my little towelette and wipe it off. And you can see it's a faint a bit, but it did come off. Also, once I'm done with my sponges, there's the paint on the end, but I'll just let that dry and then just take my scissors and snip it off. I'm not gonna do it yet, but yeah, just kind of like that and snip it. And then you have the rest of your sponge to use, and I'll just keep doing that until the end of the sponge is no more. I started out years ago toll painting. That's what was in at the time, was toll painting. And I would toll paint on wood, and all my creations I would take to, I did a couple of craft shows, but mostly I would go to people's homes. The owner of the home would invite me, and she would invite all of her friends, and we would have a little get together. It was just a nice little way for people to be able to see my product in person, as we didn't have Facebook and Instagram and YouTube back then to show all of our homemade goodies, handmade goodies. I did that for a little while, and then my path led me down into the childcare field. So I did childcare from my home for about 17 years, I would say. I really enjoyed it. And then I decided that, well, I think I need to do something different. Wasn't quite sure what that different was going to be at the time, but I just knew I had to do something else. An opportunity came to me to work at a little preschool down the road from me, and I went and did that for another almost 5 years. When I'm doing a large amount of sets of something, if I have something that's all the same color, little pieces, I like to take, this is just an old pizza box, and as you can see, it's been used many times, and I like to put some masking tape down. I'll put 2 pieces down, these pieces here to hold a piece of tape. Put a piece of tape down, and tape my ends so everything stays. And then I'll take all of my little pieces that are one color, so all the pumpkin mouths are black, put them down on the tape, and then I'm going to spray paint them. And then again, I was thinking I really need to do something besides childcare. So I decided it was time to leave the childcare field, which was really sad at that moment. It was a hard decision because I absolutely loved the girls that I worked with and I miss them dearly. And the children, it was so great to go in each day and see their little faces and get their hugs and their smiles. But in your heart, you know that when it's time, and it was my time. So I left and I started tinkering more with woodworking and building things, and I invested in a scroll saw. And I started out scrolling, and I absolutely love scrolling. Just sitting there at the saw and cutting for a couple hours at a time. You just get to focus on what you're creating with your hands. Just that's it. That's all you had to think about. And it was really nice. And I still have that scroll saw today. I might get back into it eventually, but right now it's not a scroll saw that I use. My demand got too high, which was a really good thing, but the demand got too high for me to keep up with the scroll saw, unfortunately. Wait, no, not unfortunately. Fortunately, because I was thrilled that my little small business was growing bigger and beyond what I could manage with a scroll saw. So I ventured into getting a laser. My first laser was so fun. I was addicted from the moment I turned it on and put my first cut through. I knew that this was where I needed to be. So over here is where I keep all my paints. Don't mind the mess that you see because I am very new in this building and I am still trying to figure out where to put everything. Back there is just a storage closet, but here's my shelf where I keep all of my paints. And I think we'll go with this one today, if it works. Sometimes we'll take two just in case. Sometimes, you know, the paint cans wanna mess up on you. I ran that little laser for about 2 years, and again, the demand got much more than my little laser could handle. So then I decided it was time to upgrade, and upgrade I did. I went to a Thunder Nova 51 Plus, and it is about, I can cut about 6 times more than I could on my small Thunder Bolt. That's what I started with. My Thunder Nova 51 Plus. It is big and I just love it. I can't wait to turn it on daily or when I cut. But I am just so thrilled and thankful that people have been loving my work and just want to support me. It's the best feeling in the world, and I finally know that I am doing what I was meant to do. How could I not? It brings me a smile every day I wake up. I can't wait to get out here. By out here, I mean my new studio. I also outgrew the room I was working out of in my home. It was time for a new build. And so my husband, thankfully, is so knowledgeable in all the things, and he built me my dream studio. I am so thankful to him that he did that for me and that he can do all these things. Okay, so now I'm at a point that I can do some of the more detailed parts of the project. So what I'm going to do, I did one here. As you can see, I highlighted the top with some yellow. So how I do that is take a sponge, this one, I dip the bottom part into orange, I dip the top part into some yellow, and then I kind of just blend them. And then I'm going to, on my project, just paint the top with the yellow and the orange, but the orange stays at the bottom, the yellow stays at the top. And the reason why I put some orange on the bottom of my sponge is to kind of give the orange a little bit of wetness so it ombres nicely with the yellow. So as you can see how that turned out. This yellow I might have to put a second coat on though, so we'll see how it goes once it dries. But yeah, that's how I do those. So we'll do one more. So I just thought today I would show you a couple of things that I make. I don't know if I said this or not, but I'm from Nova Scotia and I made some cute little keychains. These are engraved and painted, so not a lot of detail by me, but they're still cute nonetheless. I made a few different colors and yeah, a black one, natural, teal, and I also make ornaments. This one is a Nova Scotia one. You can see all the important parts of Nova Scotia, or some of the important parts of Nova Scotia, I should say. And with the sea and the beautiful skyline in the background. This little froggy, I call him a plant friend. He'll sit on the edge of your plant pot and keep your plant happy while you are away at work, or, you know, just a cute little addition to your plant. So the next step that I like to do once everything is dry is shading. I've already done some on the spooky. You can see at the bottom, it's brown. I like to do it on the pumpkins. Actually, I do it on every piece that I paint, but there's some shading on the pumpkin, on the edges, as you can see. So I'll show you how I do that today. So I take my, just a angular paintbrush. I'm gonna dip it in some water. And then what I do is dry it off on some paper towel. You kind of have to do this a few times to get the feel for how much water you need on your brush. At this point, I know exactly, and I just do it. So just, if I were you, just practice a few times. You know, wet your brush, dab it on your paper towel, dip it in your paint, and I do back and forth just to get most of it off. I like to dab the water off the corner because I don't want water marks or water lines on my project. So then I'm just going to go along the edge of the pumpkin with the paint that's loaded into my brush. I always like to start out with less. Less is always more. And then I can go back over and make it a little darker, or as dark as I want it. And it takes a few strokes to get it just perfect. And there you have it. You can see that? There we go. Perfect. And now I'm going to go and do the shading to all my other pieces. My pumpkins, everything that is orange is going to be shaded with the brown. And I also make this fun interchangeable truck. So yeah, I make this for all different seasons. This part pops out. This piece comes off just by Velcro, like that, like so. And the license plate comes off. I make all different seasons, like I said, and they're all interchangeable. So one truck and many possibilities. This stuff is just so fun. There's just so many different things that you can make. And I hope you'll stick around to follow me and see what else I can come up with. And I plan to do some how-tos, some paint with me's, day in the life. So you might see me running my laser, painting the product that I pull off the laser, packaging orders, just a little bit of everything. Actually, we still have a lot of work to do in this studio. So if you like that kind of content, I would love to have you follow along, subscribe, and hit that like button. I have lots more to come, and thanks for spending this little amount of time with me today to a little get to know me of sorts. Oh, also, this will probably be my daily attire. It's an apron. If I didn't wear this, I wouldn't have anything without paint on it. Kind of don't now, but this does prevent a lot of accidents. Anyway, thanks everyone. I hope to see you in future videos. Bye.